Good morning, everyone. Oh, actually, good afternoon. It's noon, and I am here today again on a Tuesday. It's beautiful outside, talking about nutrition and food, and we're going to be sharing some recipes with you in my kitchen. So, I'm Renee, and we're here in Vancouver, BC, and I'm a registered dietitian. And what we're doing with Diga and Conetra is to really try to improve your knowledge on food and nutrition and see what you can do to increase your recipe portfolio so everyone can have some fun cooking at home and learning the benefits of different types of foods that you can incorporate into your diet to help you prevent diseases such as diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart disease, etc., etc. So let me share my screen, and I also have a presentation again for you guys to follow along. Today's topic will be brain health and nutrition. So our brain is super important, and it's something that we use every single day, every moment that we're alive, and we really need to take care of it. My name is Renee Chan, and I'm a registered dietitian in Vancouver, BC, as well as I'm licensed in the US as well as a registered dietitian there. I have a master's degree in clinical nutrition, and I've practiced in hospitals, clinics, as well as opening my own business called True Nosh. So if you want to email me, info@truenosh.com will be a great way to get in touch with me. All right, so why we're talking about the brain? Well, your brain is your body's control center. It's the main part of our nervous system, and it goes from our brain and goes all the way down our spinal cord and into our limbs, and also um, all over our body, including our organs. And it comprises of a network of nerves and neurons. And together, the nervous system controls everything from like touching and sensing, your all your senses, smelling, your muscles moving, and also helps your mood and everything else that your brain does is super important, and everything is interconnected in your body, right? So let's talk about some of the brain disorders that some people might come in contact with. So Alzheimer's disease is one of the major brain disorders, and actually is really dear to my heart because my father had Alzheimer's disease at the end of his life. He also had dementia, and brain cancer is a form of cancer that grows in your brain that can cause tissue and nerve damage. It can cause other damages to other places in your body because, as I said, your nerves and neurons are connected throughout your body. And epilepsy and other seizure disorders, there's also brain disorders as well. Mental disorders like depression, anxiety, those are all considered a disorder in the brain. Parkinson and other movement disorders. And then when people suffer a stroke or a TIA, which is a stroke in another part of the body that's not, and also something that has to do with cutting off the oxygen, the blood that goes towards your brain. And if you don't have oxygen to go to your brain, you don't get all the nutrients, and your brain suffers some damage. If it's longer, then the more damage you will suffer, and if it's shorter, you can suffer a little bit less. But stroke, for people who have issues with cholesterol and high blood pressure, those people are at a higher risk of having stroke. Okay. All right, so some risks. Some of your risks are from genetics, but when your brain is damaged, it can affect a lot of things, such as memory, the way you touch and feel and sense things, and also your personality can also be altered. Brain disorders include conditions and disabilities that affect the brain, but also these are not just originate from the brain. It can be from a condition that leads to a brain disorder, some sort of illness, genetics, as I said, and also some injury that causes trauma to the brain can cause these disorders. Some diseases that I want to touch on today is really dependent on how much your nerves deteriorate. And sometimes these can deteriorate over time, like a progression of disease. And your personality can change slowly, and you might not even know it. And then these personality changes can cause confusion. So if you have somebody in your life that you are always in contact with, and all of a sudden, you meet them again and their personality changes, and they might have suffered some sort of brain injury. So diseases like Alzheimer's can develop as you age and can slowly impair your memory and thought process. Others, such as Tay-Sachs disease, are genetic and begin with an early age, and these include Huntington's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or Parkinson's disease, and all forms of dementia. All right. I want to touch on some topics or some points with Alzheimer's disease because it is actually a type of dementia, and it really affects thinking and behavior and memory. And these symptoms grow stronger by time, and it can really interfere with daily tasks. And a lot of people think it is because a lot of people are aging, therefore Alzheimer's is a normal part of the aging, but is actually not true. The greatest known risk factor is increasing age, but the majority of people start with being 65 and older. But also, you need to understand that a lot of people are under the age of 65, and that's what you call a younger onset of Alzheimer's disease, or early onset Alzheimer's disease, and doesn't have to be because old age, okay? So how can you prevent brain disease and brain injury with nutrition? So that's where I come along, and I'm going to offer you some tips and different types of foods that you can add into your diet to make yourself a little bit more healthy and have a little bit more of a balance with different types of foods and beverages that you include in your daily meals. Antioxidants, we talked about this in so many sessions of mine. You can go ahead. Last week we also talked about vision. Antioxidants very important with that, as well as why it reduces cellular stress and inflammation. They're linked to brain aging and neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease. We touched on that before. And antioxidants are best obtained when eating a diet full of fruits and colorful vegetables and dark green vegetables as well. And the colors are full of different types of antioxidants such as polyphenols and carotenoids and all of these other different types of vitamins and minerals that can really help you prevent any disease that is happening to the brain, and not just the brain, to like all parts of your body and all different types of organs, right? Antioxidants are really important as a protective agent. Studies have shown that eating fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, we had a session talking about healthy fats and why omega-3 fatty acids are called omega-3 fatty acids, because they're unsaturated and they have double bonds in the carbons in that number 3 carbon. And these can really help build and repair brain cells. So not just fish, there's also flax seeds, chia seeds, even walnuts have high omega-3 content in them. And then brain requires all these nutrients to stay healthy. How to improve your brain. So let's talk about the different types of foods that you can include in your diet. And you'll notice that in my presentations, we talk about these foods a lot because they're so good for you. So berries. Now it's still summer and we'll have a lot of berries in the farmers markets and the grocery stores. And I urge you to try a berry that you haven't had before, right? We are always eating strawberries and blueberries. They're wonderful and they're full of anthocyanins. And they are an antioxidant that helps prevent blockages in arteries. So your blood flow will be better if you eat more berries. But also, they have been known to delay memory decline, So try to see if you can do 2 or more servings each week and add them into a sauce, add them into your pancakes, add them into your sandwich, and even add them into your salad dressing. And that's a lot of fun. And omega-3 fatty acids, well, we talked about fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, cod, pollock. Fatty fish are a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. And even chia seeds and flax seeds and avocados and walnuts, they're also a great source of omega-3s if you're not a fan of fish. And these have been linked to lowering blood levels of beta amyloid. So we actually didn't talk about what a beta amyloid is when we talked about Alzheimer's disease. So they found that these cluster or clumps of protein that they named beta amyloid is actually the cause of Alzheimer's disease in your brain. So there are a lot of correlation with these protein clumps that damage your brain and causes Alzheimer's. So try to eat fish either twice a week or other things like flax seeds, chia seeds, avocado, and nuts. And I always try to, make like a trail mix as a snack too. So adding flax seeds and walnuts and chia seeds into your trail mix will really, really be a lot of fun. Last week, we actually made some apples and dunked them into a nut butter and then added some chia seeds and flax seeds and also pumpkin seeds onto that top of the apple, and that really makes a really good snack full of protein and fiber, and also the apple gives you that sweetness that a lot of people crave, right? And then let's talk about leafy greens. And I can't really tell you how many benefits are in leafy greens. And they comprise of kale, spinach, collard greens, broccoli, and not just leafy greens. I mean, there's other greens like snap peas, snow peas, sweet peas. They're also really green and they're full of fiber and rich in healthy nutrients like vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta carotene. All right, and these are plant foods that really are shown to help with some cognitive decline. So try to incorporate something green into all types of meals, right? Even as a garnish for parsley and basil. Those are great sources of greens that you can add into your diet as well, right? When you're making a pizza, put on some kale or put on a bunch of spinach instead of other unhealthy options. Caffeine. So your morning cup of coffee or tea might be a little bit more, better than for you than you think. So I'm talking about your morning dose, right? So if you are drinking coffee all throughout the day, you might need to rethink your consumption in moderation, because as I said in a previous session, caffeine can stay in your body for about 4 to 6 hours after you drink it, right? So that can affect some sleeping habits if you drink caffeine too late in the evening. So try to drink your coffee or tea earlier in the day so you can help yourself with a better sleep. Turmeric. Turmeric is great. You can add them to your coffee or tea. You can add them to any sauce or salad dressing. Turmeric can be bought in powder form or can be bought in a fresh form in the grocery store. And all you need is cut it up or shred it, you know, and add it to any sauce you're making or any drink you're making. And we also had a session, we made some golden milk with some turmeric, some dates, and some coconut milk or oat milk. And that would be a really good drink for you to nourish yourself with. Because turmeric has this substance called curcumin, and it's attributed to increasing the brain hormone called BDNF. You don't have to remember that, but it can help improve the function of neurons and encourage their growth, strengthens and protects them. So neurons are what, you know, your nerves use to communicate with other nerves, and there are synapses in between, and there are messages that are sent across these synapses to talk to another neuron, to tell it to do other things. And with curcumin strengthening the function of this, you can actually be more alert and actually function better and react better to things, right? One of the key features of a brain affected by Alzheimer's is the beta amyloid buildup. And what curcumin does is actually prevents these beta amyloid buildup and actually forms of protection for these neurons, so then these beta amyloid clumps don't have a effect on the brain as much and can slow down your development of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, seeds and nuts, they're wonderful, full of protein and fiber, but also vitamin C and E. If you didn't know, vitamin C and E are both antioxidants, are considered antioxidants, even though they are a vitamin. They're kind of both, all right? But vitamin C, is, you know, is water soluble, and vitamin E is fat soluble. So you'll need to stay hydrated, as well as incorporating healthy fats into your diet. We talked about good fats and oils like olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil. Those are great to cook with. And vitamin C, you know, you can find them in citrus foods. You can find them in kiwis and spinach. And these are, you know, great at keeping your tissues healthy and strong. So you can find different seeds and nuts and mix them together, maybe with some dried fruits, and make a nice trail mix, and you can take it with you as a snack or eat it in the morning in your yogurt. Other options such as yogurt, walnuts, pistachios, pecans, sunflower seeds have a lot of vitamin E, but also zinc, okay? And then walnuts. Walnuts I want to talk about because they actually look like a brain. If you look at a walnut, they have these little ridges, and they look exactly like how you would imagine your brain would look in a mini form. So I love the fact that walnuts look like the brain, because they're actually good for your brain, because they have an excellent source of protein and healthy fats, just like other nuts. But one type of this in the walnut in particular can help improve memory. All right, and they're also high in fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, especially this type called alpha linolenic acid, or ALA, and this helps actually lower blood pressure and protects your arteries. So it's actually both good for your heart and your brain, and they actually work together. So you need to be good to both, actually to all your organs. And we actually talked about the kidneys and the liver in the previous session, right? So these are all good things that you should add to your diet. And nuts and seeds are not just for the brain, they can be good for a lot of different things, especially the heart too, because of its vitamin C, E, zinc, and omega-3s, and also fiber, okay? And protein. Well, I'm going to dwell on this topic a little bit more, because walking is something that everyone can do easily, or cycling, or if you're in a wheelchair, you know, going out and moving your arms and getting some fresh air is a form of physical activity, right? So things that you can do to just move a little will improve a lot of circulation and therefore improves your mental health and in general your physical health because you're helping your blood vessels stay elastic, right? So you're pumping a little bit more blood through your heart, therefore you're increasing circulation and then can reduce your risk of a lot of diseases, okay? um, as well as when you're exercising, you build muscle. So what muscle does is protects against obesity. So you want to keep a healthy weight, as we said. And if you're keeping a healthy weight, that can already decrease your risks of a lot of different types of diseases, such as diabetes, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's, and also vision loss, right? And a lot of times, just keeping that healthy weight without doing too much can be already helpful to protect yourself against a lot of different things that can come along with being obese. Muscles promote insulin sensitivity, and that's why you can decrease your chances of getting diabetes. And also circulation, a huge thing, because blood really supplies all the nutrients to your body and also carries oxygen to and from your lungs, and then it also takes waste out. So it carries your blood carries your waste and toxins to your kidneys and liver, and that is where your body detoxes. You don't really need a detoxing diet. You just need to be healthy and be good to your organs so that they function properly. So what you can do is adding exercise and physical activity to your daily routine, all right? And it doesn't have to be much, right? Lifting some water bottles or canned goods, that can also be helpful for muscle generation, all right? And it plays a big role with preventing chronic diseases, especially when we get older. Choosing your health. And these are things that I've always, shoot out at you. Quitting smoking. If you're a smoker, they have increase your risk. They have been known to increase your risk of many chronic diseases such as cancer because it negatively impacts circulation, all right? Increasing physical activity helps improve vasodilation. What vasodilation means, it actually opens up your vessels to increase your blood flow and circulation, and therefore decreases your risk of heart disease. Healthy weight. Being overweight or obese negatively impacts blood flow to all parts of your body, including your brain. And it can be dangerous because it can cause stroke, okay? And then healthy diet is really simply stocking up on different colored vegetables, whole foods, and fruits, okay? You don't really want to go too much on the processed food, and make sure you read your labels, right? Understand all the ingredients that you are putting into your body and being able to decipher, is this too much sugar? Is this too much sodium, right? 5% is a little, but if you go towards the 15% is a lot. So you want to stay under 15% per serving if you're picking up a packaged food of carbohydrates per se. But fiber is also a carbohydrate, and we talked about that in an earlier session, but it is a complex carbohydrate, and that actually is helpful to your overall health because it helps eliminate waste. It also helps you feel fuller and helps you absorb more nutrients because it slows down your digestion. Staying hydrated. I mean, I can't say that I am always drinking water, but I do make it a point to carry a water bottle with me. One, because I'll remind myself that I need to drink water. And two, it's also a good device that I can lift up and down with when I'm not doing anything, right? So staying hydrated is not just about water. You can do like some herbal teas and make it cold and fill that into your water bottle. But water is always something that you should go to, and try to stay away from the sugary drinks and things that are too high in calories, because you're really just drinking empty calories, and that can also cause obesity. And then poor hydration is also something that can cause damage to your cells and promote inflammation. So that can restrict blood flow. So staying hydrated is very important. How to reduce your stress? Well, I can't say how many people tell me that they're stressed. I'm stressed, hearing about other people's stress. And that really impacts blood pressure and also increases your hormone called cortisol. And then that will make you feel like you're hungry when you're actually not. So really understand these cues. Ask yourself every time you go for something edible, and if you are actually hungry, if you're bored, or you're just finding something to do, and therefore eating is that task. So you don't really want to go to that road without asking yourself if you need this. So always listen to your body and hunger cues, okay? And then managing your stress is important, right? Find a yoga class online or find a meditation class and play some soothing music. And then also, having a good laugh can be something that you can use to manage your stress. So watching a comedy show or calling up a friend just for a little talk and sharing some thoughts on some particular topics that you think are fun. And then now it's still pretty nice out and you want to take advantage of the weather, right? So go outside, and if you don't garden, you can also just go and view gardens of people's yards, right? You don't have to do it, to appreciate beautiful flowers and trees. And spending time in nature also really is an amazing thing that can help you de-stress. So our next and last slide. I want to reiterate that maintaining your health is not one pill or one type of food or one lab result or one exercise, right? We really want to have a balanced diet, balancing your exercise habits, mindful with eating and your food choices, being able to understand what your body needs and not just go with instinct is very important. And it's also important to not just focus on one nutrient, okay? And then again, your labels on the back are much more important than what the food item says in the front. So something labeled with a huge low fat label can also be high in processed sugar and carbohydrates and also calories and sodium. So you want to be able to educate yourself. When you're at the grocery store, you also don't want to shop hungry. You want to be able to take your time and read all the things that you're putting into your grocery basket. Okay? What you can do is to prevent diseases from happening at an earlier stage, so you don't have to end up in the hospital or the doctor's office taking all these medications. So HealthLink BC is a great source. 811 is just a call away if you want to talk to a health professional. Also dietitians, or bcdietitians.ca. You can always go on there to book a consult or to talk to a dietitian that are in your local area. And they do lots of work to help locate different dietitians with different people concerned about their health, okay? And we always want to be healthy because healthy gives you happiness. Being healthy allows you to do all the things that you like to do in life and doesn't really hinder anything being healthy. Okay. So here we go. We're going to come back to my kitchen and I'm going to share 2 recipes with you today. So one is a savory dish and the other is a sweet dish. So I have some greens here that I have in my kitchen and also some different colored veggies, and these are sweet peppers. They're really good, and you can add different color to your meal by adding just a pop of color. See, so greens and a little color makes a big difference. So we have some broccoli florets here, and I also have some peas, and they're sweet peas. And you want to cut away the tops of the peas that are a little bit more fibrous-y and hard to eat. You can use a knife to do that. And you can gather them in your palm and cut them all at the same time, right? Be careful of your fingers. And you can do a lot of things with these peas, not just sauteing. You can bake them. You can even put them in a skewer and barbecue them and drizzle some sauce over it. Okay, so I should have done this before we started, but hey, it's about the process, right? Cooking is all about the process and having fun with the foods that you bought. And you learn a lot about different types of foods by touching them also. Okay, so there we go. All the tips are mostly gone. Just one more bunch. Okay, so I'm just gathering these in my palms, and this bottom is fine, but this one is a little bit more fibrous-y, so it's a little bit hard to eat. You want to cut away that top part, okay? All right. And then now we're gonna go with the peppers. So these are some sweet peppers. You can use bell peppers. I just picked these up because I thought they were really cute. I'm going to take out the seeds. You don't have to in this case because they're not really spicy, but it could be a little bit bitter. I'm just going to go in with my knife to get some of the seeds out. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut little circular rounds with my knife. Okay. Great. So aren't these beautiful? They're really good to add to any dish or a salad because they add a lot of different components, such as color, a little bit of a different antioxidant, not just your leafy greens and your chlorophyll. And they're also a little bit sweet, right? So you want that in your foods, then you can add peppers instead of sugar. Okay, so I have some turmeric here. You can find it in powder form. And then I also have my own oyster style sauce. I make a sauce line out of black garlic. And I add some kelp and mushrooms and some raisins to my vegan oyster sauce. And we're going to do a really quick saute. So I'm going to turn on my heat. So I'm going to let it heat up a little bit. And I also have a can of sardines. So as we said, fatty fish. Sardines is fish that has omega-3s in it. If you can't go out and buy a whole slice of salmon, you can go and get some sardines that can really be helpful with adding proteins and omega-3s to your diet, right? So what we're going to do is saute these veggies and then also add some oyster sauce to the mix. My oyster sauce has about 15 times less sodium than a regular oyster sauce. So you always want to look at the sodium content when you're buying sauces because they're always hidden, as well as the sugar content in sauces, especially the Asian sauces out there. I do want to try to make something that has less than 15% of your daily carbohydrate needs, as well as under 100 milligrams of sodium in a serving. And that's something that you should set as your goal too if you want to be healthy and nice to your kidneys and liver and to your heart, okay? So when we're waiting for that to heat up, I'm also going to talk to you about a nice pancake. We had a pancake episode already, but this time is a variation of that banana pancake. So we have a banana, we have an egg, and then I also have some blueberry compote here and some flax seeds, as well as some oatmeal, okay? And we're gonna make a really nice high fiber pancake with blueberries inside, as well as the blueberries on top. Okay, so with the pancakes, I'm gonna add 2 eggs to my half cup of oatmeal already in this bowl. Okay, and then I'm gonna add 1 banana, to my mixing bowl, and a little bit of baking powder. All right, so this is, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking powder into my mix. And now my blueberry ginger compote. So you can do any fruits if you like. I just happen to make my own jam without sugar, so I'm going to use that in my pancakes to add blueberry. Okay, and I'm also going to cook it later and put it as a sauce instead of using any maple syrup. And that's it. You can just blend that up with a blender. I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric in there to make it really nice and yellow. And also this will increase the curcumin in my pancakes to make that oomph of different things that we've been added to help with our brain. Okay, so that's it. Our blueberry banana pancake mix without any sugar, without any flour. We just added oatmeal to this. You don't even have to add oatmeal, okay? So our pan is hot. I have some grapeseed oil here. Okay, I'm just gonna drizzle that to the bottom of the pan. And what I'm gonna add in first is my peas, okay? You can see that. I'm gonna bring you guys closer to my pan so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. A little bit of oil. To get your peas to be a little bit golden brown. And then I'm going to add my broccoli florets. I'm going to saute that around. And once the broccoli has turned bright green, it should be done. And then after that, I'm adding a little bit of oyster sauce, oyster style sauce, because my sauce is vegan and it doesn't have any oysters in it. You can even just pour it in. So as we said, 1 cup of veggies is about 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. And now I'm going to turn off the heat, actually, because you don't need that heat anymore because all the veggies are cooked. And there's that residual heat that you can, oops, there we go. That was snow pea on the fly. Or snap pea on the fly. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to add my peppers because they actually don't need too much cooking or any cooking at all because I want to keep the nice color and crunchy texture of the peppers. Okay, so now I'm gonna get a nice serving plate. We have a nice serving plate here. And after all the veggies have been cooked, you can serve it up on a nice plate. And then we're gonna add the sardines on top like a garnish. And then we're gonna sprinkle some turmeric on top to make it a really nice yellow presentation. Isn't that beautiful? Just gonna slide that on the plate. Okay, and then now we're going to add, 1 or 2 sardines to the top of the plate. And then using your fingers, get a little bit of turmeric and then just drizzle it on top as a nice garnish. You can make it like they do in the restaurants when the chefs make it all beautiful in the restaurants. So here is our sardines with a beautiful stir fry on the bottom. And then I'm going to start making our blueberry pancakes. And I'm going to get another pan. And we're going to start heating this pan up with a little bit of oil. And then once this pan is hot, this is the blueberry banana oatmeal pancake with a little bit of baking powder. And I'm just going to drop some in the middle. To allow that pancake to cook. And this recipe makes about 4 pancakes. I'm gonna get a nice spatula so it can flip nicely later. And then you'll know when it's ready to flip. And just give it a little bit of time because the pan wasn't as hot when we put the pancake on. There we go, it's starting to go. You'll see some bubbles on the top. When it's ready to flip, there are a lot of bubbles. And you just gently do that in the pan. Let's see if I can move it a little bit. Yeah, give it some more time. There we go. It should be ready to flip. Right there. All right, so I'm gonna get a plate and we're gonna plate it on here next to our sardines. Okay, I'm gonna start another one, smaller one this time. A little bit less oil. Okay, and this one's ready to be plated. Let's put it on here like this. And I'm gonna add also a few more. And this is making me really hungry already. I'm glad this show is just in time for lunch because it is lunchtime. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this one. Ah. Oh no. There we go. It's a little bit messy there. And then I'm gonna do this one. That one's a little bit nicer. There we go, tuck that back in. Okay, so after these pancakes are cooked, I'm gonna pour a little bit of the blueberry compote onto the top of the pancake. And you can serve it with a little turmeric and cinnamon even. This pancake still needs a little bit more time. And you can see how fluffy they are. That's very exciting. I love fluffy pancakes. My partner also loves fluffy pancakes. We can do this. And I love a nice little decoration. I'm going to turn off the heat. And then a little bit of blueberry compote. Top here goes a long way. Wonderful. There's so many blueberries in one jar of these. This is about a 1/4 pound of blueberries. And then ta-da, with a little bit of turmeric again as a garnish. And we have 2 dishes here, a blueberry pancake. It's gluten-free because it's got oats in it only. Blueberry, and then we have a nice sardines over a nice stir-fry vegetables. So that's all I have today, and I hope you guys had fun. And if you guys have more questions that you think of, please email me info@truenosh.com, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.